September 29th. So,
Well, at the public hearing on the tier maps, I was amazed by the level of misinformation coming from public testimony, originating from a letter sent out from the Cecil business leaders and the patriots. I was able to get a copy of this letter and continue to be amazed by their brazen misrepresentation despite having the recordings to prove what my position has been all along. For those constituents that contacted me either by phone or email, I was able to communicate what my official position was by directing them to my website, dianabrumel.com. As I have mentioned before, from the beginning I have taken a position that the development of the tier maps had to be a fair and equitable process, and oppose the map which selectively removes area out of the Tier 4. In addition, I have been a strong proponent of doing what we can as a rural county to have a stronger voice in Annapolis. I recommended we join the Rural County Coalition and support efforts to make this organization stronger and more relevant on a statewide level. Ironically, we had a major opportunity when SB 236 was being developed in Annapolis. Our representative on the MACO Legislative Committee was Commissioner Moore, whose responsibility was to update this board on the development of this bill. I didn't say anything previously when I discovered we were not consulted when MACO first testified in support of the bill with amendments. Originally, the rural counties were not pleased with MACO's position to support because it diluted the United Front in opposition. And this actually was an impetus for the Rural County Coalition to be formed. I was told it was MACO's strategy to work with the state in getting their requested changes in, and apparently it worked to Commissioner Moore's satisfaction because she ultimately voted to support the bill with amendments as presented. To support with amendments without notifying this board or checking with our planning department on what the effect of this bill would be created the situation we are in today. This past week, I contacted the Rural County Coalition and spoke with Reagan Charney and Blaine Young, requesting a meeting to discuss SB 236, which I believe has been tentatively scheduled for September 19th. Jim and I were on Blaine Young's radio program, WFMD, which reaches 25,000 people in the Frederick, Washington, and Carroll County area, to discuss the concerns we have encountered in developing our tier maps. Reagan also agreed and has sent out the letter we sent to our citizens most affected by the Tier 4, or by the tier maps, to the members of the coalition in order for them, to encourage them to also send the same letter to their counties and to get involved. So on a state level, we hope that we're getting the message out.
I'm just going to reply to that statement that it contains much misinformation, and I don't appreciate the attack. Commissioner Mullen, thank you very much for mentioning our Thank a Local Hero. There's a table right outside that will be available for you to write a note of thanks to the folks that take care of us on a day-to-day basis. Also, this seems to be our animal day. And I was contacted by the Plumpton Park Zoo, and they are participating in a grant opportunity through Chase Bank. They can be worth up to $250,000 in grant opportunity. All you need to do is to either go onto the Plumpton Park Zoo site, or if you have Facebook, go onto their Facebook page and vote for Plumpton Park Zoo. And the more votes they get, the higher grant amount they get. So I just encourage everybody to do that.
I was going to pass, but I can't. Commissioner Brumel has continued every week to make accusations, to make inferences and innuendo of other commissioners in particular, of wrongdoing, misleading, and just untrue announcements on her part. And I'm going to give her the floor back because I want her to explain to the commissioners and to the public what was in the letter that the Patriots and the Cecil business leaders put out there. I want to know exactly what was misleading or wrong, what was bad information. I would like to have that out in the public on what was not true or what was misleading. So Commissioner Brumel, would you please explain exactly what was in that letter that was not true?
They said I supported the more restrictive map. They said I supported taking away property rights. I have consistently said I support draft map 4 with hearing back from the public on how to fairly adopt policies to equitably remove more property out of tier 4 and put it into tier 3. And it just so happened Vince Salmons, who's been videotaping, recording the meetings, the upstairs meeting, he's got it right on his video, us saying we supported draft map 4 with changes after listening to the public. I've been very clear about that, and it doesn't matter how many times I've repeated myself. Jackie Gregory and other people from the Patriots and the Cecil business leaders have consistently said, I'm for draft map 4 as it is.
Okay, well, if that's true, we'll be talking about it this afternoon, and if you really truly believe that what you just said, we will see what the results of that will be. We've had a public hearing, and you've made your announcements, and the public has spoken, so we will be reviewing the testimony and deciding on what to do moving forward with the tier map that we put together. So I guess we'll see if it's true that you support a much smaller tier 4 area in the map.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're going to have that discussion.
President Mullen, again, Commissioner Brumel has made statements that simply are not correct. I have a copy of the letter here in front of me. The letter says that Commissioners Diana Brumel, Jim Mullen, and Mike Dunn voted to move forward to public hearing a tier map. That is a correct statement. You also said that the letter accuses you of taking away property rights, but what the letter actually says is we have to speak up and let them know we feel this proposed tier map takes away our property rights and devalues our land. There are not personal accusations against you, Commissioner Brumel, and I just wanted to put for the record what the letter actually said instead of misstatements.
Commissioner Moore, hold on a minute, I will respond. Commissioner Moore, you didn't receive the phone calls I received. And that letter led people to believe that I was for the more restrictive map and that I was for taking away property rights.
You voted in favor of the map, and Commissioner Brumel, you don't know the
I voted in favor of the map with listening to the public in how we could remove more out of tier 4.
Well, we're going to have that
Very
discussion
specific
this
about that.
afternoon.
And why didn't you come back to us and tell us that you supported with amendments? I checked with May.
We'll have this discussion today. We're going to meet today.
It's okay for them to respond to me, but I can't respond back to them, Commissioner Mullen?
I'll give you one sentence and then we need to move on.
Okay, I just wanted to know why you didn't come back to us to say that you had accepted, you voted as our representative on NACA to accept with changes SB 236.
That actually is not correct. I voted against that position.
I believe that Terry Moore is right. I remember there was a conversation about this. It is true that the board of directors voted. The majority of the board of directors of MEDCO voted to support SB 236 with amendments, but not Terry Moore. Terry Moore was in the minority of that vote, and I think it's very misleading for you to accuse her of something that she didn't do, which is totally false. And this continues what you have been doing week in and week out for I don't know what good cause. I don't understand what you're trying to do. Is this campaigning against Terry and for another candidate? Or I would like her to explain why she continues to mislead the public.
Oh, well, I'm not the one that's misleading the
Honestly, this
public.
isn't going
And I think
anywhere.
you're the one running for
No,
election.
this isn't going anywhere. We're going to talk about the map today and follow up with the testimony we've had. And honestly, we're just spinning wheels here today back and forth. So I'd like to move forward. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, thank you. To that point, Mr. Wine has handed me an email, the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition information from Cherney Reagan that they're tentatively scheduling for September 19th at 2 o'clock to see if they can use the Mako conference room for the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition. I think everybody should have gotten this.
So the meeting will be in Annapolis?
That's what they're proposing. They're asking for everybody to respond. I looked on here just out of curiosity. All 5 of us are in this band of females. So with that, thank you. Mr. Warren.
Mr. President, members of the board, staff recommends that the board move to closed session to discuss discuss candidates for appointment to fill vacancy on the Board of Parks and Recreation.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to move into closed session.
Can I-
Second.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Is it okay for Mr. Van Dyke to sit in on this discussion?
It's up to the board.
Is there any reason Mr. Van Dyke can't sit in and just help us make a decision?
Well, if we're gonna vet names though, that's.
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, we did receive his recommendation.